Welcome. I so love to begin these discourses, these transmissions with a welcome. And today, as I welcome you, I invite you to also feel the entire spiritual hierarchy. Those great ones, the ascended masters, all the living masters all over the world who abide in the fellowship of the enlightened state of love and service to creation, of love and service to all of you, to love and service to humanity, to earth, her nations, her kingdoms, and all the beings that share this planetary system and call it home. Now more than ever, your every thought, your every emotion, your every deed, and your every action is important to be brought into the awareness that you also comprehend that as the planetary vibration is lifting, the immediacy by which your thoughts and feelings and actions set into motion a trajectory of reflection, of outcome, of result, of manifestation is speeding up. And so the more conscious you are of the prime directive that is amplifying positives, the greater you can use this awareness to be ever more mindful of your power of choice and your birthright to become self-determining, no longer entrapped and imprisoned in the societal norms or dysfunctions of whatever your upbringing or cultural circumstances might be entrapping you in. And the more and more that you choose that higher light, and you choose your right of destiny, if you will, your right of divine providence, the greater we, all of the spiritual hierarchy, can be of assistance to you. And so indeed it appears that the craziness, the unpredictable nature of global affairs could not become any more unfathomable. And for myself, although I brought through revelation upon revelation some 30 years ago about the nature of the times that we now find ourselves in, it is truly remarkable to be a witness to just how amazingly out of control, unleashed in the most unpredictable ways, our world conditions have become. And so all of the norms are breaking apart. It's happening in the United States, it's happening in Europe, it's happening in South America, in Canada, in Africa, in Asia, in all the continents, in all the countries of the world. What had been the norm, what had been concretized, is literally being shattered. And yet something new is emerging, even if temporarily there appears to be disappointing examples of despicable human behavior, if you will. Heartbreaking, horrific episodes of things that we don't even want to speak about that we are witnessing. And yet in the midst of this upheaval, this turmoil, these horrific things that we see on the television screen of the newscasts that we listen to, each from our respective countries, nonetheless is this light emerging. So if we can consider it like a shell that is breaking apart or some sort of cocoon that is shattering, and yet a light is emerging. So even though the old is falling away, and with a bit of struggle from time to time, what we are here to truly tell you is how present we are to each of you. Our love is unconditional, wherever you may find yourself in life, or walking the spiritual path, or in your profession, or in your greatest aspirations, no matter whether in the moment you feel that you are truly illumined in your aspirations and all is going so beautifully well, or perhaps you are having one of those dark nights of the soul, dear ones, and you feel barely able to carry on. It does not matter whether you are in a dark night of the soul or in the brilliance of self-confidence. We are no less standing behind you. We are showering you with divine light, and it is truly on the increase. And so I wish to begin today just merely with the presence of the spiritual hierarchy and the phenomena that has long been understood as the externalization. There are living rishis such as myself that are truly externalizing that unbroken continuum from the other side into the material plane. I reside with the great masters of Shambhala, even as I sit here in the material manifestation of this sacred space, my sanctuary, and yet at the same time, I am in both locations simultaneously, effortlessly, seamlessly. There is no difference, so in the enlightened state, there are no veils. It's merely a single continuum of existence, you see. And so we can call this externalization. We can call this the time where the masters manifest. We can call this the great wave of awakening, where the interest and the appreciation of the enlightened state is growing by leaps and bounds among all those who are on the spiritual path, not just in the West, but in countries all over the world. So enlightenment is now being understood in a modern context, in the Western context, if you will. And this awakening is also part of the externalization. And what I'm truly offering you today is the way in which the externalization is a constant presence for each of you. Our broadcast is continual now. It is not from one side of the veil to the other side of the veil, because the veils are being shattered. They are being dissipated. They are being burned away. And living rishis are now existing with no veils at all. This, too, is the phenomena of externalization. And when the corridors of light are truly opened, it is then that the very presence of the masters become ever so palpable. My presence, the presence of an ascended master, become one and the same transmission of divine illumination, you see. And so it is hopeful that in the midst of so much turmoil and unpredictable goings on, and the uprising of this and the uprising of that, and the outbreak of this and the uprising of rebellion, and all the things that you see that more or less define this time of change and radical upheaval all over the world. As the old is shattering and even fighting to continue to exist, yet the externalization of the great masters is a certainty. It is on the cosmic time clock, dear ones, and it is unstoppable. Feel our presence now among you. Indeed, we are not merely walking between the worlds. The veil has been parted altogether, and we exist in the singular continuum of all dimensions of God consciousness and of the loving grace of the enlightened heart. Feel this presence, dear one. Deepen in your commitment. Be assured. Be faith-filled. Be love-filled, hope-filled, glory-filled. For your time of awakening is now, and despite what is going on all around you in the world at large, The light is rising like the phoenix of a new beginning. It is true, it is fact. And that is my message to you. Our presence is now in a momentum of externalization. And this is also a reality for great rejoicing, despite whatever else may be taking place in the world around you. Close your eyes for just a moment, dear ones, and really feel and sense the radiance of presence of which I speak. We of the spiritual hierarchy are externalizing. May this be your blessing. May this be your boon for all the rest of your days, for your walk upon this earth. For it now is in a momentum of certainty, of increase, of manifestation.